This is the notorious 187 Homicide.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious, brother.
Oh man, I've kept him on hold for a while. I thought he was calling into S. Jameson.
It's all good. I like to listen to Hall of Famers, so it's pretty good listening. You know what I'm saying? So I got respect for the wrestlers who will become Hall of Famers. So it's okay.
All right, cool, man. So, sorry we kept you on hold here, but Jameson, we want to thank you for calling in again. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, my friend. Anytime, call me anytime. I'll be happy to chat.
All right, cool. And I contacted a few guys about the stuff we talked about, so hopefully.
Yeah, I would love to put that together. I'd love the fans to come see me at the nightclub I run in New York City. It's called the Underground Lounge on the Upper West Side. Come on in, have a drink, and we'll talk the talk.
Excellent.
This is J.J. Dillon, the leader of the original Four Horsemen, and this is InYourHeadOnline.com.
All right, and we're back again here at In Your Head, and now we're joined by the notorious 187 Homicide, making his return here to In Your Head. How you doing?
How you doing, bro? Nice having me back here, man.
Yeah, excellent. He's very well behaved. I feel bad we had him on hold, but what can you do? You got to hear some stories from Jameson.
Yeah, I said it was like I said, man. I respect for people that been doing the road, especially back then, and be part of the Hall of Fame. I respect people who be part of the Hall of Fame. I'm very passionate about this business and people who be in the Hall of Fame. So hopefully things turn out real good, especially for the New England Championship Wrestling company, what they call themselves. But good luck for those people, man. I hate Boston, but hey, man, good luck for those people.
I'm from Massachusetts, but Celtics are out of it, so what can I do?
I couldn't even spell Massachusetts, like, seriously.
It was a hard one to learn to spell when you're a kid in school. You gotta learn to spell your last name Jones. That was easy, but learning to spell Massachusetts was pretty tough.
Yeah, I just also math. That's it.
Yeah, that's
it. There was a access friend, then you're on the ass. But that's another story.
Speaking of, I saw you not too long ago in Massachusetts when you were wrestling for Ring of Honor here in Plymouth.
Yes.
Now, I remember there was a group of fans that had like the rebel flag in the front row. You didn't seem too happy about that.
Oh well, like I'm not saying I support that flag. To me, that flag means something else. But I got two good friends of mine that represent that flag, and they don't go overboard trying to kidnap somebody or do some stupid things that they'd be locked up. But it is what it is. Like, if I go somewhere like Massachusetts and I wear a Yankee flag, damn sure they don't like that at all. But it is what it is,
Exactly. Now, we're going to talk about urban wrestling. We had the owner of it on earlier, and he was talking about, they're putting it together. Yeah. What do you think of, the whole premise?
Well, they spoke to me about it. They told me the whole story of the project. I really think it's going to be a good project. It's very, very different from the fancy wrestling from TV or other independent circuit around the world. This is a very different stage of wrestling, and I like to have the wrestling fans, not only the hip hop fans, but the wrestling fans come to the Urban Wrestling Federation and check it out, because it's going to be very unique and very different. And it's not going to be the same that you see in WWE or some independent company in Orlando. But it's going to be very different. It's going to be very exciting, and I bet a lot of people are going to like it. It's kind of difficult because it's almost pro wrestling meets hip hop. Like my presentation, it's almost like pro wrestling meets Boys in the Hood, the movie. Mm-hmm. So it could be very unique and very, it's going to be really good. The roster, it's great. It's people that other people know, like Sanjay Dutt, other people like, including myself, Ricky Ortiz, Ruckus. There's a lot of guys out there that people already know these guys. And also you got these hip hop guys who's behind the scenes, like Uncle Murder, Ray Cafe. You got the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Nelly Mel. So you also got hip hop rappers who be involved of the Urban Wrestling Federation. They do the talking, and us wrestlers, we do the action, and we're going to make money, and we're going to entertain the hell out a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. You said you have a passion for wrestling business, respect for wrestling business. This is a different style than what you're seeing on TV. Preferably, what kind of wrestling do you like to watch and be a part of?
I love every wrestling style of wrestling. I mean, right now the era of wrestling is very different. I love the old school wrestling with the NWA. We're talking about Dusty Rhodes, Manny Hernandez, Terry Funk. I love the strong style wrestling of the New Japan Pro Wrestling, Old Japan Wrestling. If you want to go to Lucha Libre, I like the AAA. People like Conan, Shocker. Then also you got the American version of Ring of Honor, who's bringing that strong style hitting the Lucha. And also you got Urban Wrestling Federation, something brand new in the market, something new of the culture of professional wrestling that we're going to bring. It's almost like ECW back in the 90s, meeting like a hip-hop movie, like Boys in the Hood, Kingdom, New York, New Jack City. But it's going to be, like I said, man, it's going to be very good. A lot of people, especially wrestling fans, are looking at it very differently. And I like to tell these people, give it a chance and check out the market, check out the product, and they're going to come out and they're going to be very surprised what they're going to see. Urban Wrestling first is very different. It's more realistic. It's not nothing that you see on TV. But I would say it's like a classic ECW meets hip-hop wrestling. So it's going to be real good.
Mm-hmm. Now, when ECW was around, were you a fan of it? Did you ever try to work for ECW?
Yes, I was a big fan of it. That really changed my mind because I was studying Japanese wrestling and Lucha Libre wrestling. American wrestling was going down, in my personal opinion. I love the old school, the NWA, but it was going down at that time, and that's when ECW came up and bring the revolution to the scene. And people like Tommy Dreamer, Raven, the Dudley Boys, the Gangsters, they made a different scene of the wrestling. That's what Urban Wrestling Federation is going to do of this new era of wrestling. I was a big fan of ECW, and I was getting help by a lot of people like New Jack, Mick Foley, the Dudley Boys, to be involved with the ECW. But at the time, with politics and I guess behind the scenes, it closed down. And that's when Dixie Carter bought the company, and then just went to a different route. As right now, we try to bring back what wrestling used to be like, and that's what Urban Wrestling Federation is all about. We try to bring back the hardcore wrestling that people love, and it's going to be a little twist of the hip-hop action, too. So it should be good.
Mm-hmm. Again, if you guys want to call in tonight, it's 508-644-8503, and you can ask Homicide a question. Let's see, we're getting a caller calling in from Portugal. Joel?
Hello?
Yep. Do you have a question for Homicide? Yep.
Yeah, I have two questions really quickly to ask Homicide. First of all, I want to ask you about what once was your tag team partner, Hernandez. He was quite a fascinating individual to see in the ring. Have you ever seen anybody that you worked or that worked with or seen on television that was as agile as Hernandez was for his size?
Well, I did wrestle all over the world with Samoa Joe, and I competed with him and other various companies. And he's one of the big guys who just fly like a lightweight, just like Hernandez. But me and Samoa Joe, we had some rough battles, and it reminded me like Sting and Vader back in the days in WCW. But Samoa Joe is one of those guys that he's a big guy, but he could fly, he could do everything, and he's like one of the toughest opponents I wrestled. When we broke up LAX, I was feuding with Hernandez on the house show of TNA, and I'm guessing it didn't work out to show other people on TV. But, my answer, man, Samoa Joe is one of those guys that you can't sleep on. He's one of those guys that looks big, but he can fly, he can do everything, he can do shoot style. He's one of those hardest competitors that I ever faced in the ring. I don't know where he's at right now because I've been out the loop, and I bet he's just doing TNA, and hopefully he's a world champion because he deserves to become a world champion for that company.
Do you think he's ever, while you were in the company, let's say I don't know what's going on now, but while you were there, do you ever think TNA really used him to like the height of what they could have?
Yeah, I think they should have used him bigger than he is right now. Like, he was a very strong opponent, a great champion, mind you, because when I was facing him, I was trying to get that Ring of Honor title, and I couldn't every time I come short. But he also got that passion, and I'm thinking that TNA should put people like Kurt Angle, and mind you, he did beat Kurt Angle for the world title, but I think he should be on another level, who should be that part of that group, like Sting, Hogan, he should be part of that group. If he's well-deserved, should be on that group.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was your second question, Joel?
My second question, being that you are quite a wrestler that has participated in many indie promotions, and your last company that you worked with before you are now working in Dragon Gate was TNA. I want to ask you, being that TNA was once an indie company, what was the difference for you in terms of other indie promotions with TNA? Do you notice any difference at all?
I've been joking around with my friends. I always say independence it means freedom. You go out there, you come with your character, you do whatever you want to do. I'm not saying that you push the envelope and do what you got to do, but it's more of a vision that, okay, I got an idea. How about we do this and do that? That's what the indies came from. Now, TV wrestling, it's a whole different world. It's very different. It's almost going to Hollywood and just doing some acting classes. And, I'm a horrible actor because I'm realistic. What you see in the ring, that's what you see in the streets. I used to be a former gambler. Like, it's realistic when I come. So to me, it's very difficult. It's very hard to become one of those people who should be on primetime wrestling. And when I went to TNA, it was kind of hard, but I got used to it, and I learned a lot of people. I learned from a lot of people, and hopefully I could get that and show it to these young cats, because some of these young cats and the wrestlers, they need to have that learning experience from these veterans in wrestling. But it's very different from the independence and primetime TV. It's two different worlds, I'll tell you this.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for answering my question.
Thanks, Colin, Joel.
Okay. Bye.
Which do you prefer? Do you prefer like more of the freedom to do what you want on the indies, or wrestling on television?
I want to make money. That's my thing.
right.
That's my moolah, So to me, that's like water. You can't survive with water. Money is like water,
Uh-huh.
But I like to be part of history, and that's what Urban Wrestling Federation is all about. It's history. I was with a lot of companies, and I was part of history, and I like to be part of this history because it's June 3rd in the Homicide Bowl in New York City, especially New York City, my hometown. There's a lot of history that day, and I can't wait for that day to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. It's First Blood is the first taping June 3rd in the Hammerstein Ballroom. There's a lot of history in that building.
Oh, yeah. It's tons of history. And actually, it's going to be my first time wrestling in that, you could say, that room or that venue. I did wrestle from behind censor, but I never wrestled in the ballroom. So it's going to be very exciting. There's a lot of history. It's almost like the ECW arena in New York City, so it should be good.
Mm-hmm. Intro, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just wondering, how disappointed were you when LAX disbanded in TNA?
Oh, excuse me?
How disappointed were you when LAX kind of fell through in TNA?
Oh, very disappointed. I mean, in my personal opinion, LAX is not dead. I'll be doing LAX and independent. Me and Cornet still talk, but I was very, 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 very disappointed what happened in the end. Hey, man, look at the Hollywood Blondes. I think to me that was the most great tag team in the future of the era. And to me, me and Hernandez always joke around. We got the Hollywood Blondes syndrome. Basically, a great tag team is going to break up. And, it is what it is. I can't cry about it. I hated it. I'm not going to lie about it. I think LAX was one of those original gimmicks that a lot of people don't see. And I hope in the future that I'm not saying I'm going back to the company, but I hope LEX will be around on primetime TV. I hope Urban Wrestling Federation pick up LEX. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
But in my personal opinion, LEX is one of the greatest acts in wrestling.
Yeah. Well, not to say because you're on here, but we thought it was like one of the hottest things in the company at the time.
Yeah, and I'm a big mark for the NWA. When I was growing up, I was watching NWA. Nobody doesn't know, including Mike Tenay, who's a smart man in his business, that me and Hernandez are the first Latinos as champions. I mean, we're talking about Ravi Shimikwu and Manny Fernandez and those other guys that was Latinos, but not Latinos like myself and Hernandez. And nobody they explained to the television crew, to the people out there that we are the first lands of NWO. We did part of history that no wrestling company ever did, and we did it, but it wasn't talked about. So I just want to put out there that we are the first NWA Latino tag team champions.
Mm-hmm. Well, when Conan left, why didn't they give you more of a chance to be the spokesman of the company?
I feel like they're like the vision. They're like the way I am. They didn't like the way I talk because I talk funny. I talk like I'm from New York. I talk like I'm really Puerto Rican. I talk like I'm really from the hood. You know, I think they didn't like it, you know, and I'm not the kind of guy who looks a script and just read it and just go with it. I'm the type of guy who likes to freestyle it, just go out there and be natural with the feeling. And I'm not great with promos. That's the one thing that I hate the most is promos because I like to freestyle. I like to be realistic and more natural feeling. I don't like somebody give me a piece of paper and say, you got to say line by line by line. Now, mind you, that is part of wrestling, you know, but that's not my cup of tea. And I really don't know.
This radio show, I'm about to talk to Homicide.
We got some people calling on the line here, and you can hear them in the background. Jared, what was your question for Homicide?
Hey, Homicide, this is Jared. You might have, I met you at the Bakersfield TNA house show.
He
The
doesn't
biggest
remember.
TNA what?
The house show, but it was here in Bakersfield.
All right.
Thank you for the big. I didn't remember, bro.
Yeah, and okay. Now about the Urban Wrestling Federation, any chance you guys could get Low Key as a part of that?
I'm trying to get a look at part of it, but right now he's doing his own thing. And he's doing a lot of Japanese wrestling. He's doing his own thing, but I'm going to talk out of it and let's see what happens. You never know.
Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome.
That'd be good.
Thanks for calling in, Jared.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yolanda.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Hello. Hi, Homicide.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I have a couple questions, if y'all allow me to ask. One, I don't know, have you ever faced Willie Mack? But if you have or haven't, he has a move called MDX, which means my dick explodes. And if, since you're a man of such men, would you be insulted or honored to get hit with such a move that means such an impact?
I mean, I'm not insulted for that. Like, I got a move called the cop killer. A lot of cops don't like that, you know, but I'm not insulted for nobody. If somebody comes to me and play this kind of a character that, you know, being realistic about it, then we got a problem. But I got no problems with nothing.
Oh, good, because I think that move is hilarious. I think it's just a clothesline, but the name itself is just really awesome. Also, it is, that's hilarious. Also, do you know there'll be music playing as y'all wrestle?
Yes, there will be a lot of music playing. There'll be tons of music.
Oh, that's dope. And another thing, who would you like, I don't know who's commentating for the show, but who would you like to commentate? You know, would it be like Busta Rhymes or, you know, if you could pick somebody, not reality.
You know, that's kind of funny you say that because that was one of my picks is Busta Rhymes. I'm not just Busta Rhymes doing the commentating, you know, but I think I'd rather hear two people also. They're not rappers, they're wrestlers. One of them is Julius Smokes because he's very entertaining and he's my motivation speaker, you know, so that'd be kind of funny when he gets to the microphone and spit fire. The other one is Conan, because he reminds me like a Latin Farrakhan. I don't know why, but he's really good with the microphone too, you know. So those are two people. But Busta Rhymes, yeah, that's one of them I like to hear.
I'll just say that, yeah, Julius Folks is the man. I did not have the privilege of seeing him at Ring of Honor, but I did get to see him at ICW in Queens before they, you know, they changed management. And he's freaking hilarious. He's so on point. So, yeah, that would be perfect.
He reminds me of Gangsta Bernie Mac. I don't know why, but he's funny as hell.
Yeah, I love the way how he spaz out. They got to make sure they show his gold tooth like gleaming too. You know what I mean? You know, during the comedy.
The true cats. I love it.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Now my nervousness is gone. Maybe I'll finally get an autograph. All right, I'll be there June 3rd. Bye.
Hope to see you then.
Thanks for calling in, Yolanda.
No doubt.
That was good. Yolanda also is from Gimmicks Tees. We'll give her a little shout out. Make T-shirts, cool stuff. We got El Santo on the line.
Que pasa 187? Yo soy
¿Qué pasa, Holmes? What's up, Papa?
Que pasó, chicos? Let me tell you something. You, Hernandez, and Gran Conan was the best thing ever happened to TNA, bro. I wouldn't say that. The best thing. And when y'all, bro, I tell you, bro, that when I saw y'all come out of that ring with that song, bro, y'all, but you know, putting up the Latinos up there, you know what I'm saying?
What's up, Papa?
Yeah, bro, check it out. But look, mira eso, chico. You ever think about going to the AAA out there again? You know, I know you was there before, but you ever think about going back over there, man?
Yeah, I've been thinking of going back over there. Me and Conan, we be talking about business. We might have LEX going to AAA real soon, so let's see what happens. As a matter of fact, June 3rd, on the Urban Wrestling Federation, man, I got a little meeting that involves me going back to Mexico, so let's see what happens.
Right, because I like to see you go over there and kick some Jack Evans' ass, bro. That's what I want to see. There's no skill on that boy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, let me ask you one more, man. I know they got a lot of callers calling in. I mean, anybody out there, man, like right now in the Indies, out there in the big, you know, the big show out there, and anybody out there that you've been wanting to have a match against, that's right now that you think they'll give you a great match?
I will say Eddie Kingston. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's from the Indies. He's like one of those cats that he's gonna blow up if he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? But Eddie Kingston, matter of fact, I got a match with him in Urban Wrestling Federation, and it's gonna be me and Eddie Kingston. So look out for that dude. You know what I mean? Because he's good. He's real good. He's got a bright future. But Eddie Kingston, that's one of them.
Right, Eddie, I know he's one of, you know, wild guy, bro. I've seen him before. He's wild. But look, bro,
it's a great promo guy too.
Bro, like I said, LAX, bro, y'all was the best thing ever in TNA, man. I hope my boy Hernandez survived with that new group.
Man, screw that group. I never liked that group.
Dude, I don't know about the other brother over there. I don't know if he's a real Latino. You know, I know about the other ones. You know about them, but hope it gets a little better. But bro, I wish you was back there, man, because you and Conan, y'all pulled that group together. Y'all was it, bro. But
yeah, man,
check it out, bro. You know, but have a safe career, bro. And like my boy said, viva la raza, órale. Yo soy cubano, man. I'm like Conan, bro. Cubano puro. You know what I'm saying? Viva Puerto Rico, viva México. Viva en tu cabeza. Órale.
Thanks for calling El Santo. You're the man.
That's what should up that guest manager next time.
We had El Santo, a co-host once, when we had Juventud Guerrero on.
That's Connor's best friend. That's another story.
Yeah. We heard all about it, but I think Hoovy had the story wrong. He's blaming Conan for a lot of stuff that X.
Yeah.
Richard, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question from our message board. Nikhil, he wants to know, how did TNA change when Eric Bischoff and Hogan arrived?
I think Hogan and Bischoff had a different vision. You know, like, basically, it's like going to a gym and see these basketball players, and Bischoff and Hogan say, I don't want these guys, I want these guys. That's the way I see it. When they came in, it's like they got their own vision, and they don't want me to be part of that vision. So I was at the door. And I'm not going to lie to you, I do miss TNA, I do miss the boys. Some of them, I miss them. Some of them, I respect them. But some of them should be jumping in the front of the bus, get hit. But that's another story.
It was a guy who actually just signed with WWE, but on the Indies, who I'm a huge fan of, and I know you were working with him a little bit. It was John Moxley.
Yes.
What did you think about his work?
He reminded me of CM Punk of 2002. Great talker, very different look, you know. And it was a pleasure working with him of his last role in the Indies. Remember the last match we had with Evolve, and he just talked a lot of smack. All I want to do is cut his tongue. A lot of people telling me, like, why you let him beat me? Because I put his body top of mine, think he beat me. Because in my personal opinion, it's not about winning or losing. I just want to destroy him. So what happened is that when I was trying to cut his tongue, he just basically left the venue. And 2 days, I heard that he was getting signed and moved to Tampa. And hey, man, just good luck, Moxley. I hope everything comes out good. I'll be waiting for you just in case if you ever leave New York. I'll be waiting for you. So I hope he does good and WWE, because I'm not a hater. I'm a hater when you make more money than me. That's just a thought, though.
Yeah, I saw it was the Dragon Gate USA their Bushido shows there at the one in Fall River. That's when like you guys started the feud, but that was actually in it was actually like a police place, and I remember you were on the commentary. They even called your move the cop killer. I was just wondering if anyone gave you any flack for that, because there's a lot of police in that building.
Yeah, at that day I did, but a couple of years ago I was part of probation, and my probation officer didn't like the move because I told them this is my career, and they told me the cop killer is not a polite name. Could you call it something else? So basically, when I went to TNA, I remember Mike Tenay gave me the name Gringo Killer. And I'm saying to myself, I don't know which one is worse, Gringo Killer or Cop Killer. You know, so I went back to my probation officer, and she told me, I don't know if that's better than Cop Killer, but hey, she was an African American, so she didn't care. But still, I was like, which one is worse? So I was in the middle of a situation like, I don't even know which one is worse. So when I left TNA, I want to change the name to the Cop Killer. But a lot of people telling me, no, keep the name. So I kept the name. It's just kind of funny because I do see cops to give me that evil look like, oh, I'm going to see you tonight. And that's when I leave. I
run. In the Urban Wrestling Federation, earlier we had Steve Carroll on. He was saying that like a lot of the wrestlers will be like parts of groups with the different rappers, hip hop artists. Is there any particular guy like you're going to be like paired with?
Well, I'm paired with a hip hop artist who's going to become very huge in the industry. His name is Uncle Murder. That's funny, Homicide, Uncle Murder. But I think I'm going to be pairing with him, and it's myself, Uncle Murder. We got people like Slick White McBrown. We got Lil Like Louie. We got a tattoo called DRS. Basically, that's our clique. And, you know, as right now, we're going to feud with other rappers like Big Block, Briscoe, Beanie Blue, Melly Mel, Cuban Link. who I'm a big fan. But like I told all these rappers that this is different. This is not like this regular indie wrestling promotion. This is as real as it gets in the UWF. And with Red Cafe, he got problems with Uncle Murder. Right now, Red Cafe is in Europe doing a tour, and his guys are like SAT, people like Eddie Kingston and Red Cafe and Uncle Murder already did the contract signing. It was going to be me and Eddie Kingston and the UWF, and I can't wait for that day, June 3rd. Check it out.
Mm-hmm. No, when we talked to him, he said, you know, he didn't think they do like traditional heels, and baby faces would be more like maybe depending on what like area you guys are wrestling in. Do you prefer that kind of thing? Do you prefer to wrestle you straight up as a heel, as a baby face, or do you kind of like just to let the crowd decide?
I prefer with the crowd decide because, like I said, it's traditional. The wrestling era, it's been the bad guys versus the good guys. For myself, I'm like both. I'm a good guy and a bad guy. I don't care if you cheer for me. I don't care if you boo for me. All I want is that I want to get my money if I can leave and support my kids. But it's more about cliques. It's like when I talk about cliques, about cities. You know, I represent New York City with Uncle Murder and Slick Wonder Brown. We're going to be facing people like from Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles. And it doesn't matter who we wrestle. We want the best because we are the best. And we're going to go out there and fight the best. And we're going to beat the best. So I can't wait for that day coming. But basically, it's more of a city thing. And it's almost like baseball, if you think about it. Like, you know, you got the Red Sox, you got the Yankees, you got the Rangers. You know, it's almost like it. But this time it's about wrestling cliques. Like myself, Uncle Murder, we represent New York City. The same thing as this other hip-hop, Red Cafe, Melly Mel, Cuban Link, who also from New York City. Then you got people from Atlanta, you know, like a wrestler called himself Murder One. Then you got people like from Florida, you know, like Briscoe, you know. So there's a lot of people out there that we're not going to go by the bad guy, the good guy. We're going to go by our city. Mm-hmm. You know, when we go to, I guess, Atlanta, say like, I don't know, just example, maybe Sanjay Dutt, who to me is the most underrated wrestler in the world, he represents Atlanta. So New York City is going to go to Atlanta and destroy Sanjay Dutt and whoever he's down with. So that's our motto. Our motto is we go out there, we beat up whoever who's the best, and get this money, get this pay-per-view money, and get this title, and just rule the wrestling industry. We want to make history, and Urban Wrestling Federation is history, and June 3rd is history in the making.
Mm-hmm. You said that a lot of times. You know, is that something really important to you, though, like being part of something that's like starting right from the ground up?
Yes. I started with Ring of Honor and look at Ring of Honor right now. I never was with the TNA in day one, but I was when they started with Spike TV, and I don't know if you want to call it we blew up or we did good. I really don't know, but I was part of that history. I remember like a small local independent for like Jersey Old Pro Wrestling. I was there since day one. They did a successful tour with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I was part of that. We made history. So I like to be part of history, and that's what Urban Wrestling Federation is part of history. A lot of people, especially wrestling fans, they are confused. They think that it's something else, like they think it's the same wrestling promotions like WWE or Ring of Honor or Drizzle Pro. It's very different from all these promotions. Like I say, it's like 96 ECW meets Boys in the Hood. It's very unique and it's very different, but I guarantee you a lot of people are going to be happy when the show is over.
Mm-hmm. You think that's good, too, to, you know, to give people another place to work that might not be seen by, like, a WWE or a TNA? Some, you know, maybe their luck doesn't really fit in with them, but it would fit in with the urban wrestling?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Urban Wrestling Federation is all about urban, like, I'm guessing is about people who represent the streets, like myself. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up as a poor, so I represent of all people who's a poor, who's busting their butts, who's from the ghetto. I was born and raised at Bed-Stuy, Fort Greene, Brooklyn, New York. We also represent the Bronx and East New York. So there's a lot of kids out there that wants to be part of the action. My thing is, go to a great school in New York. We got 3 schools. We got the Dollhouse Academy. We got the House of Glory. And also we got the Johnny Ross promotion. You go out there, you train, bust your butt. But I always say to people, always finish school. A lot of people look at, look at the Wrestling Federation. There's a bunch of convicts and people from, you'd be very surprised. A lot of these rappers, they got degrees. You know, in college, they graduated from college. I had a degree from Miami University, you know. So you'd be very surprised. A lot of people look at this promotion and they say to themselves, wow, these guys are a bunch of hooligans and dropouts. You'd be very surprised. Half of these guys are very smarter than all these Democrats and the government, whatever you want to call themselves, people from prisons. You'd be very surprised. But I always tell kids, always finish school, because I always tell my students, when you become a professional wrestler, you're going to get hurt. So you finish school, go to wrestling training, and go to the best wrestling organization you can follow. If you can't make it to WWE, if you can't make it to Ring of Honor, then you can make it to a local independents like the New England area, the New York City area, and the Urban Wrestling Federation, because we're going to kick out and we go out like a bang.
Mm-hmm. Intern, do you have a quick question?
Yeah, I had one more question from Nick Keel on the message board. He wants to know if you were there for the speech that Dixie Carter gave everybody on Impact, and what do you think of that?
There was a lot of speeches. There was a couple of speeches. I respect Dixie Carter. I'm not the kind of person to be like, she does this, she does that. I like Dixie. I don't know which typical speech he's talking about, but I remember one speech that she did, and it's basically it's about being a family and blah 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 blah. So that's my answer.
A lot of people have asked this in the message in the chat room here, so I guess we better ask it. What happened in the Terrordrome match on the Live Impact?
Oh, I got a bad shoulder. Let me tell you the whole story. I wrestled Steve Corino. Me and Steve Corino didn't like each other at all. It was December 2nd of 2005. He broke my shoulder because I did broke his eardrum. And I remember Terry Taylor, who's the talent and relations for TNA, hired me that same day when I broke my shoulder. So basically, I had a bumped shoulder for like 4, 5, 6 years. So I remember this stupid Thunderdome No Max wannabe cage match. I was climbing. First, in the beginning, Vince Russo came up to me and said, practicing. I was at the, like, Allen Iverson. Like, practice? Forget about practice.
Right.
You know, and I was a shoot. I really was at the, like, Allen Iverson. So when I got up there, I remember I was supposed to feud with Jeff Hardy. He was supposed to come up the cage and attack me, but something happened. I was stuck. Meaning, I couldn't do the pull-up because my shoulder was basically, I don't know, got dislocated. It's something bad happened that I couldn't get out the cage. I always tell people that is not even practice. You don't practice that. Not even Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee could climb over that cage. Now, people like Cass and Christopher Daniels, they did it. Jolito, they did it. But they told me it's not the easiest thing ever. And I'm not a supporter of that cage because, Lamore, that's never part of wrestling. That's something very unique and very different as part of wrestling. I didn't like it. I messed up. Hey, people's not perfect, you know, and that's what it is. I had a bump shoulder, but I'm not going to come my excuses and be like, no, man, you know what happened? I got caught in the thought. I fucked up, basically, you know, because people's not perfect, you know, and to me, that was the rising fall of the Homicide career in TNA. That's where it all started, in my personal opinion about that.
Yeah, that's too bad, though. Were you supposed to go on to a feud with Jeff Hardy, or do you think that was just set up like his debut in the company?
No, I was supposed to feud with Jeff Hardy, but of course they changed their minds a couple of days, and they put me in the doghouse, and they like my honest truth. They like my mouth because they feel I'm the same way like Cornette, open. just nobody don't like the truth. And I was speaking the truth, and they didn't like it. So they just put me to back up the line and let everybody shine. And then Cohen, they give me a chance, but it wasn't enough. I didn't like the first thing. Like earlier today, I didn't like that they broke up LEX because that could have been something special and something a big feud. But you never know with wrestling, professional wrestling, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know Jim Cornette was there at the time. Did he have any involvement in LAX? Because I know he was speaking highly of it.
Yes, he was. He was more the advisor. That's one thing I'd be tripping out. Not starstruck, but he is Mr. Tag Team. Look at the Midnight Express and the tag team that he was more of the advisor. He came up to us, gave us advice to make us look better, and he did. To this day, as right now, he still does that, and I give great respect for Jim Cornette for doing that because he's the only people in the wrestling business, a veteran, to help out the young guys. A lot of people don't do that. They worry about themselves, and they're not worrying about the young guys. People like Jim Cornette, people like Terry Funk, people like Dusty Rhodes, Manny Hernandez. They help out the young guys. These other guys, yeah, they're like whatever. They worry about themselves.
Mm-hmm. Raging Bull, we've had on the show a lot of times. One of my favorites, Manny Hernandez.
He's my teacher.
He's the man. But
he is, man.
Yeah. And of course, Terry Funk is too. But I want to thank you for coming on tonight, and everyone check out Urban Wrestling, and we have the link right on the website. It's urbanwrestlingfederation.com, and they've got it's going to be in, oh my God, I lost here. Hammerstein Ballroom, June 3rd, First Blood. That's going to be the first taping. That's going to be pretty awesome. And it's going to be your first time wrestling there.
Very first time on the ballroom, very first time wrestling organization called Urban Wrestling Federation, June 3rd. That day is going to be very good. So I like a lot of people to show up, be very positive with your fan base,